What's going on, you guys? Local John 1812.
J-Rod 84. What's
That's
up, y'all?
right. Sports talk time, and we're back to preview the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Florida Gators game today. Starts at 11 a.m. That's an early time.
That's kickoff in a little over an hour.
Taking the shades off because it's going to get serious. This conversation is going to be in there for it. I tell you what, I wish we were there live and in person. Let me tell you, because I feel like it'd be a great game to go to.
Oh, I said absolutely.
It'd be a great game.
I said, which I've seen a lot of pictures online. The atmosphere is already crazy. I see
Yeah.
you've already had a lot of fans. They've started drinking. I said they've already started pounding beers.
What do you think the atmosphere will look like?
Oh, I'm sure the atmosphere would be crazy. I said, they requested one half of the stadium in blue, and then the other half in white.
That's right. So blue and white is the key today there. And you know what? It's going to be blue and white, and I bet you when they do that, blue,
yes,
white, it's going to be a good loud chant.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be exciting. It would be nice to be there for this one. And if it's not, then shame on us as fans, right? Shame on us as fans. I really feel like it should be. It should be.
It should, but
we'll see.
I say we'll see. We'll find out.
What do you think is going to be the key thing today as far as the atmosphere is going to be nice? What about the weather? Weather there. Did we know any about a weather report? Is it going to be raining, sunny?
I said no. It's going to be sunny.
Sunny. That's awesome, because if you got a great atmosphere, great weather, that just gives you a combination of something very, very exciting for the game going into it. So atmosphere is going to be great, right? But what do you think about the first half? How will the game that you envision going for the Wildcats and for the Gators? I mean, the Gators are a good team. They are actually ranked coming into this. Some individuals that do the SEC network and then also ESPN or just college sports in general, they might rank Florida ahead, right? And say they might be better, based on paper right now. We'll see today. What do you think the first half's going to look like?
Well, let's see. I kind of expect maybe the first half maybe just a little back and forth. I mean, probably the key for Kentucky, I see, make sure you get off to a fast start. I mean, because traditionally when they get off to a slow start, it's kind of hard for them to pick back up until maybe later in the game. But of course, that also depends on what Florida does too.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
I know with us, I can target that we have a good receiving core. Leary's coming around as the quarterback, but I think right now our strong piece is Davis, Ray Davis, the running back for Kentucky. With Florida, I know they're ranked. I've seen some of their highlights. I'm not familiar with them to say that they just have a strong running game as well, or if it's receivers. Are you familiar with them a little bit?
I know they do have a good. I know they have a good running. I know they have a good good running game, which that may be tested a little bit. I mean, Kentucky as of now leads the SEC in rush defense, which is great.
Yeah.
But I see, like I said, that might be tested today. We'll see.
Yeah, I believe it could be. Kentucky's one of those defenses that you hear Jay talk about how they're one of the top stopping run defenses in the SEC, and let alone the country, Yeah. So we're going to see today that's going to get tested. This is going to be on paper their best test that they've had so far this season.
Yes.
And it's going to be exciting.
Well, another point I wanted to make is, let's see, I said the offense, has been up and down. I said, offense has been great. I see, Leary's got 9 touchdowns throughout the first 4 games. Mm-hmm. I see, Davis has been killing it. You also have receiving like Key. We got playmakers, wide receivers. Yeah. It's Barian Brown, Tavion Robinson, Dan Key.
Right.
But I would like to give a lot of credit to the defense, which coming in I found out Kentucky's tied for first in the nation in defensive touchdowns.
That's awesome. And
throughout the first few games.
Obviously contribute that to it was last week with the 2 pick six.
2 pick six from Maxwell Harrison.
Yes.
And we've also had fumble recoveries for touchdowns this year. I'm like, yeah, that's great.
So what's that tell us? That if you're Florida, you can't cough up the ball because Kentucky can cash it in at any given second.
Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, that's also vice versa because Florida can do the same.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's two SEC teams really trying to vie for that spot to be, hey, we're not in the middle anymore. We want to be up there with the top 2 or 3 competing for this, and we can do this. So these two teams are trying to say that. Florida's had some, ups and down years last year, but this year they're trying to say that for sure. Kentucky has been on the uptick for a while, but they've been kind of stuck. They kind of stuck around the 4th, 5th place area.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, just like I said, we know Kentucky's not anywhere near like the top echelon of the SEC. Not up there with Georgia and Alabama.
Not just yet, but it could be.
Not yet, but we're not the laughing stock no more. We're not sitting in the cellar.
Right.
I mean, because look, if you follow this series, I see you're probably thinking, it used to be where you're probably thinking, oh, Florida's got Kentucky on the schedule, automatic win. Not anymore.
Nope. No, I think it's 50-50, or you can even say sometimes people lean towards Kentucky having more of that win. And we're going to get to those predictions here in a minute, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and say this. Jay is saying that the first half will be, like kind of up and down. I'm going to kind of agree with that, like back and forth kind of. I will kind of agree with that. I do think Kentucky may take a 3-point lead into the half, or even Florida. It could be that close.
I think so.
It could be that close.
I think so. I think this game might come down to about maybe like the last, maybe like the last 3 minutes of the game.
Last 3 minutes.
It could be. The last couple of meetings, have been, pretty entertaining, to say the least.
Yep. And so if it may come down to the last 3 minutes, timeouts and your conditioning of your players and where they are when they get physically tired and where they become when they're mentally tired, all that's going to come into play today. So it's going to be a timeout perspective and then conditioning. So that's a coaching thing. So the coaching matchup is big here. What two coaching staffs are really going to push their players to be in the right places that they need to be throughout the game here. Let's go ahead and go into predictions of MVP of the game. I'm going to go offense, and I'm going to say Ray Davis for Kentucky. I'm going to give him 220 yards total. Some of that could be running, all of it could be running, some of it could be receiving or whatever. But I'm also going to give him 2 touchdowns. So I think he's going to get 220 of yardage and 2 touchdowns. Who do you think? What do you got?
I don't know. You know what? I don't know. It's a hard one, but I don't know. See, it could. Ray Davis, he could be MVP, but possibly another candidate. We can get a couple of defensive touchdowns. I said, look no further, Maxwell Harrison. He had 2 pick sixes at Vandy last week, so he's SEC Defensive Player of the Week.
Could he be defensive player again?
It could. I don't know if that'll happen twice, but we'll see.
Right. Lightning is not known to strike twice, but guess what? This is a different game, and it's not known to strike twice at the same exact location. But guess what? This is a different day, and it could be a different spot on the field. He could still get it done. So, and he could definitely get some touchdowns in there. So those are 2. Jay leaning a little bit more towards maybe defense as a whole too. Maybe just throw them as MVPs because it's going to be a good matchup for them to really prove to the rest of the country and the SEC that their defense can hold up against a high caliber, possibly high caliber, or at least a average caliber SEC team than what we saw in our previous earlier games. Now we look at coming to the main part. You guys have heard us talk about what the atmosphere would be like. You heard us talk about how we think the first half could go back and forth. Our MVPs, who we think could be MVPs of the game. Let's go into predictions.
All right.
Let's go into predictions. We had Kentucky back and forth for the first half. I said it could be a 3-point lead or a 3-point lead for Florida, 3-point lead for the Cats. But I'm going CATS, Cats. Cats 28 and Florida 17. I'm going to have the Cats winning a pretty good, sizable win there. When you look at the perspective of what Florida has done, and they're an SEC team, I'm going to go, what did I say, 20?
You said 28-17.
28-17.
I'll say 27-20.
27-20.
27-20 Kentucky.
Okay. So this is going to be exciting to see. What are your guys' predictions? We're going to try to get this uploaded way before the game starts, at least an hour, hopefully. Why don't you go ahead and comment down below what you think your MVP is. What is your predictions for today's games? And then also for a caveat, tell us what you think Kentucky may do if they do win this game afterwards going down the season. Just look down their schedule. Tell us where you think they may be. We'll be excited to hear it.
Yeah.
Right?
I said, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what we said, kind of like what I said last time. Well, of course, I said not looking ahead to next week. Of course, next week
one game at a time.
We have one game at a time. I see. Next week they're at Georgia. I kind of said they'll either be 5-0 or 4-1 headed to the Georgia game.
It'd be awesome.
Well, I mean, just say this. I see. No, it could be. If we lose. I said, if we lose, it's not the end of the world.
No.
I mean, because that they still have winnable games left on the schedule.
That's right.
But I mean, if they win, say the momentum's high.
Yeah.
Momentum remains high. Kentucky likely will move into the top 25 tomorrow.
If they beat Florida, they're in the top 25 for sure.
Yeah.
They'll be ranked.
They'll be in the top 25.
Probably in the top 20, probably 20 to 25, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Maybe number 21, 20, 21. That's where I see it.
Somewhere in there.
Now, if they beat Florida pretty badly by 3 touchdowns, so they may be number 18. Mm-hmm. So that would be pretty good.
I mean, anything could happen. We'll see.
All right, guys, that's what we have for you today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Answer those questions down below, or give us some other questions you have, or some comments. We'd be glad to hear them. Hit the like button and share us out. We're going to get out of here, guys. I'm putting back on my shades because I got to reflect all the glorious touchdown sunshine that the Cats are going to give us. Ray Davis is going to go nuts. Our defense is going to go nuts. And the Cats are going to scratch the crap out of those Gators and send them back to their swamp trash home to where they belong. All right, guys. Well, let's get it ready. One more time. C-A-T-S. Cats, Cats, Cats. Go Big Blue. Peace, everyone.
See y'all.